Hey up guys, Pomming Oz here with something really exciting for you today. So a lot of you may know that I like to fiddle with analytics, and I've got a thing that I call TPI, which basically compares players and compares apples with apples. So what it does is it kind of doesn't favour forwards, doesn't favour midfielders like traditional software, kind of equalises it. And I thought it'd be really fun over the last couple of months. I've been trying to do older competitions and compare them to today. So what we did is we've taken 32 of the best AFL sides of the last 30 years and tried to make it on an even playing field. So obviously there's a lot of complexities with that. Obviously interchange has changed. We've got rules changed. So what we tried to do is come up with some algorithms to try and equalise that. And I think we've done pretty well in the testing. So we thought we'd make a 32 team World Cup soccer type tournament where the 32 teams compete head to head and find out which team is the greatest of them all. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So you can see Group A here pops up, and we've got Brisbane 2003, Essendon 2000, Richmond 1974 and Melbourne 1964. And you can see here that Brisbane and Essendon, they were the cream that rose to the top in this group. 9 points for Brisbane and 6 points for Essendon. And you can see here that there were some good results, and the 3 Brisbane game versus Essendon was a real nail biter with Akamanis kicking a goal right at the end. And you can see here that them two are the two that progress into the next stage. The Richmond 74 team, they did well, they really did compete well, but in the end it just wasn't enough, and they were the 2 teams that went through. Group B was a real rip snorter of a group. We've got North Melbourne 96, Collingwood 2010, West Coast 92 and Geelong 1963. And North Melbourne, with their firepower of Carey, they really did steal the chocolates in this one. And it was a real tight group for second place. As you can see, Collingwood, West Coast and Geelong all nipping points. A real surprise, I thought, for me was the 63 Geelong side beating the Collingwood 2010 side, with Polly Farmer having an absolute day out with 34 hit-outs, 2 goals in that game. And his mate Goggin absolutely tearing up Collingwood's midfield. However, that loss didn't do much for Collingwood because they still made it through to the next stage. So Group C, Carlton 81, Collingwood 02, Sydney 05 and St Kilda 66. Now you can see here that Sydney and Collingwood were neck and neck, and it's a hair breadth on percentage that got Collingwood through. Carlton 81 side, one of the best sides to ever win the grand final. They did really well as well. Clean sweep here. You can see they absolutely decimated the 66 St Kilda squad. You can see Sydney did really well though, but obviously Sydney's firepower just didn't quite come out in this league, in this style. All teams did play each other 50 times at home, 50 times away in the group stage, and then an aggregate score was taken. And you can see Collingwood and Carlton with the cream that rose to the top in this group. Group D, West Coast 2006, one of my favourite teams to go back and watch. Adelaide 97, Geelong 09 and Carlton 1970. And maybe a surprise for some, but McLeod and Co got the chocolates done for Adelaide's 97 side. It was a phenomenal side if we go back through it. Jarman, some real A-list players. And you can see there that Geelong came unstuck. They started really well. They beat the Carlton 70 side. But after that, it was just nip and tuck, and that midfield of West Coast in the end really got the job done for them. It was amazing in this as well. Judd and Cousins in the group stages averaged 29 touches apiece. Group E then, Hawthorn 13, probably the best Premiership side of the last 10 years. Richmond 17, another great team. Adelaide 05 and Geelong 95, starring Gary Ablett Sr. And you can see Hawthorn's ruthless methodicalness really got the job done here. They got 6 points in the end and really took home the chocolates. Richmond and Adelaide 05 neck and neck, and that goal percentage just getting them through. Less than a percentage saw Richmond get through into the knockout stages. Group F, Sydney 2012, Fremantle 13, Bulldogs 16 and GWS, because we tried to get every side represented. Gold Coast, obviously, it was a tough one. We couldn't really get them in. They've never made finals. And you can see here, Fremantle and Sydney, as you would expect, got home. Some real standout performances. Bob Murphy did his best down back. He had best on ground performance in their win versus GWS 19. But apart from that, it was no surprises, and Sydney and Fremantle go and live to fight another day. Port Adelaide 04, Carlton 95, Geelong 08 and Essendon 85. And this was a real tight group. As you can see, Geelong, Carlton and Port all finishing on 6 points. But it was just the sheer ability of Carlton and Port to put points on the board and maximise the opportunities against 85 Essendon that saw them hit the front and saw them get to the next stage of the competition. Final group then, Group H, 88 Hawthorn, 80 Collingwood, 10 St Kilda and Geelong's 2019. The reason Geelong 2019 there, they're a team that are built for finals and been disappointed, and I thought it'd be quite entertaining to see how they'd go on against the best of the rest. And you can see not very well. Again, another tight group. Nick Riewoldt though, his team, again disappointing. Didn't quite get the chocolates. Collingwood and Hawthorn, massive percentages there. So the knockout stages, these were really entertaining. So we had Brisbane 03 versus Collingwood 2010, 96 to 82 for Brisbane, saw them home. Voss, best on ground performance in this one, 34 touches and 8 tackles he averaged in this game. Absolutely tore 2010 Collingwood apart, saw them into the next stage. Carlton 81, Adelaide 97, a very tight affair, and it was a staggering 38 wins out of 100 for Adelaide. Did really well, but these games were tight every time. 12 points separated them, a staggering 97 times out of 100. Carlton ended up getting the chocolates though. They go through to the next stage. Hawthorn 13 versus Fremantle 13 was just one-sided affair. Hawthorn running away with it in the end. They go through to the next round. Port 04 versus Collingwood 80, an assured performance, probably by the surprise package of this tournament for me. Wanganeen and co really coming alive, going through to the next stage. North Melbourne 96 versus Essendon, and this time Essendon fired. Lloyd kicking 7 goals in this game, really setting the game alight. Heard Caracella and co dominating in the midfield, saw them through. Sydney 12 versus Richmond 17. It was a battle of styles this. It was uncontested, rugged Sydney approach versus Richmond's free-flowing. Sydney get the chocolates just in this game. Another tight affair. And Carlton 95 surprised me here because I know they were a good side. Cooter devastating at his devastating best. Diesel chipping in, and they ended up getting the chocolates versus Hawthorn. In the round of 8, we had Brisbane versus 81 Carlton. Brisbane romped this one, looking very good here. Firepower galore, really seeing them through. Hawthorn 13 versus the surprise package Port. Hawthorn got the chocolates in the end. Essendon 97 to 94 of the 06 West Coast Eagles. Again, another tight affair, but this time that midfield, it was a battle of midfield, and the battle of midfield was won by Essendon. And Sydney 12 versus Carlton. Carlton's free-flowing attack play with their rugged willingness to get contested football saw them home. In the semis, we've got 2003 Brisbane versus Hawthorn 2013, and this was a classic tie. Voss, Hodge, all your favourite players really lining up and battling away. Brisbane coming out the chocolate winner there, 106 to 99. Essendon 2000 versus Carlton 95. This was a tight affair between two big rivals of the football, and it would have been a great chance to see them play live. It would have been a dream game, but in the end Essendon got up. And in the final, it was probably the final we all want to see. 2003 Brisbane versus Essendon 2000, and 103 victory to 95 Brisbane, making them the champions. And it was an absolute great game. 6 goals from Matty Lloyd, 29 touches, 3 goals from Hurd. It was a real battle, and Essendon, unfortunately for me as a Carlton fan, are the greatest Premiership team according to TPI. Let's take a look at what that did then to the statistics. The goal kickers medal was won by Matthew Lloyd. He took it out, averaging a staggering 3.23 goals per game, and he was a deserved winner of this trophy. He takes out our version of the Coleman. MVP for me as Mr. Anthony Koudafidis, averaging 28.9 throughout his games and kicking 2 goals just under a game, was phenomenal for me. Really pulled Carlton against some big teams, and he was our MVP. And our player of the tournament, who wins our version of the Brownlow, is Justin Blumfield. I mean, that might be a surprise for many, but he's an absolute stalwart, probably a deserving player and a very underrated. But his ability just to get them over the line time and time again, he wins our special Poms Brownlow. My vote goes to him. He was phenomenal throughout, week in, week out for them, and ends up winning the prize for them. Now let's look at if we did a team of the tournament. So the team of the tournament, our backline is Nick Maxwell from Collingwood, Brian Lake at Hawthorn and Gary Ayres. Luke Power, Fletcher and Solomon make up the half-back line. The centre line, Jason Ackermanis, Justin Blumfield and Anthony Koudafidis on the wing. Wanganeen, Dermot Brereton and James Hurd make up the half-forward line. Full forward line, we've taken a bit of creative licence here just to crumb them in. We've got Wayne Carey, Matthew Lloyd and Stephen Kernahan. What a forward line that is. Our followers, Dean Cox, Ben Cousins and Michael Voss. Ben Cousins, 31 touches he got in his knockout game. He was a phenomenal player, won best on 2 times for them. He's a deserving winner with Michael Voss, no surprise there. Interchange, Luke Hodge, Blake Caracella, Darren Yarman and Andrew McLeod. I thought it was hard not to get an Adelaide team that just surprised many to get here. And they got into the team. Overall, it was a really good experience and it was nice to do. It was a real fun thing. If you want to see more of these TPI comparisons, I'd love to do them for you. Please be sure to drop a like and share this. Please let me know who was your favourite team of the last 30 years. Maybe we could go back further and see. Maybe next time, instead of doing one team from a dynasty, we could do them all. It'd be really interesting to see. You know, they've got the 3-peat of Brisbane. You've got the 4-peat of Hawthorn. It'd be really interesting to see how them sides matched up. Please let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Pom out.